Well, hey, welcome back to another episode of Behind the Visual with Mark Hansen, where Mark Hansen, and I'm going to introduce you to all those people that are behind all the visuals that you see out in the world every single day. And today, my guest is a great photographer, a guy who shoots very cinematic. I mean, if you haven't seen his work, you definitely need to check it out. It's Doron Gild. And Doron is from Jerusalem. He moved to New York City when he was 19, ended up going to SVA, and he started off at night school there, and then it ended up being full time there. And then he graduated from there, and his first job out of there, he ended up working. He met a photo editor, and that photo editor completely changed the way he shoots, and he did it in a wonderful, great way. And if you look at his work, you will see it is definitely influenced by the movies. It's very cinematic and it's incredible. We have a great talk today. I think you're really gonna like it. He went from there. He was shooting for record labels and for bands, and along the way, he ended up shooting for Bon Jovi, and he did a family portrait for Bon Jovi, and then that turned into a 5-year relationship of shooting with Bon Jovi and his family. So that's a pretty cool thing to talk about there. We're going to hear a little bit about that and how that came together. Also, the shoot he did with John Lithgow, and John Lithgow, if you don't know, just won another Tony this year. So he did that shoot for the show that John Lithgow was in. So it's a really cool conversation. I think you guys will learn a lot. We talk about digital cameras and the number of pixels you would have to match a 35 millimeter film piece. And yeah, it's a great conversation. I think I really enjoyed it. And I think you guys will too. So let me know what you think. Subscribe, like, thumbs up, all that kind of stuff. And I look forward to hearing from you. So thanks for doing this. I think it's going to be a cool conversation. I already feel it. So when you were growing up, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Jerusalem, in Israel.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Um,
How long before you moved over to the US?
I was 19. I moved alone. I was like,
Really?
I finished high school and I was doing film and cinematography in high school in Jerusalem. I was in a art school because all the dyslexic, hyperactive kids had to find something.
Right.
But I was always making pictures, so it was always like part of my thing, and I was always trying to do the film thing and move into, cinematography. And it was like an automatic situation. Okay, let's go to New York and fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
And by the time I got here and started running around and trying to work, um, I slowly but surely realized I just don't want to be on the bottom of the barrel. I have a family who are in the film industry and they really like they just helped and I can get on the set and do all the things, but to be like waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be on set at 6 to
Uh-huh.
be treated like a shithead for 15 years didn't appeal to me at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to make pictures. That's it. And I started working at a camera store, and then I started doing like night classes at SVA,
Oh, wow.
and then I went fully matriculated because I had all this experience at SVA for a couple of years of just like fucking around. That I had like a solid portfolio and got a scholarship and started going. And it it just manifested into like, okay, this is what the life is. It's been fucking hard, and it still is, but it's at least you know that it's real,
Yeah.
and it came from a place where it needed to be.
Dude, that's incredible. Well, that explains a lot about your style. Because every shot I look at of you, I'm just like, this looks like some shit that just came straight out of like a movie. It's a frame from some kind of film, something, you
I
know?
always found it boring to just make pictures of people just sitting there. I mean, I did that for a long time because I was inspired by like Arnold Newman and all these wonderful photographers who made these beautiful portraits. Slowly but surely, I'm like, I just need an idea. It needs to come from somewhere else. It needs to come from something that's interesting, something that's, active in motion. But I don't want to do documentary. I don't want to go shoot in the street because I like control.
Yeah.
So so it always just came up to like, okay, what's the idea? Where's it going? And I started doing the same kind of portraits, trying to do something else, and it just never worked beyond, showing up to a place and making pictures. So it
Right.
really took a big step into there's got to be purpose. And that means that I can't just take the camera and go fire away, which made it harder for me to make pictures
Oh
because
yeah.
it's so much more expensive and time consuming to get a set, get a crew together, get all the gear that you need in order to illustrate something much bigger,
And are
which I
you?
wanted to do because, again, Seliger, Leibowitz, Crutzen, all these like
Oh yeah.
incredible people that I'm like, oh, this is the work. This is the work.
Are you producing all this yourself, or do you have someone?
Every age,
Dude, really?
fucking exhausting,
Yeah,
but it's like
that's.
so gratifying,
Oh yeah.
so
The
gratifying.
outcome is amazing. To me,
Thank
I
you.
hate producing. Like if I can hire a producer,
Oh my God, if there was money for it,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But like it's bad enough. Like I'm making family portraits, which is such a weird thing to say out loud. Like that people think of family portraits as like random, like on the mantle with people smiling in the fucking field and stuff.
yeah.
Pardon my French, by the way. I have a very foul mouth.
Hey,
Uh,
if that's my favorite word, so
but I that's what I do, and I do it on an idea base, and it's already automatically expensive to work with me, not because I'm expensive, but because assistants cost money, gear costs money, travel costs money, and time costs money.
yeah.
So it comes down to like just to produce costs $6,000.
Oh yeah.
So in order for me to make any money, it costs a lot more than that.
Uh-huh.
So if I say to somebody, yes, it's about between 12 and $25,000, they're not going to be like, sure, how much more is a producer?
Right. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So if it comes down to like in the future and like popularity stuff and like being known for it on a bigger scale, that people will be like, sure, whatever. Then yeah, producers, studios, things, all the stuff will be involved. But until then, it's. I
Yeah.
mean, all I need to do is know what I need, and then I just hunt for it, and we find and we think and we sketch and we do all these things. Like all the stuff that I make is already well planned out before I get to set
Yeah.
with that.
Oh yeah. I believe it. Yeah,
And
just
that's
from looking
it.
at it.
Yeah, and it just what the funny thing is like the more you prepare, the more the subject knows what's going on, the easier it is to make the photographs because they're already in. You know,
Yeah.
they're not, oh, what are we doing? How should I do? Listen, no, this is what you're going to be doing. And then I'll, tweak it a little bit and just tell you to fucking freeze.
Right.
That's it. Don't move, don't move.
Yeah.
But then it works. It,
Hey, they look amazing, man. I mean, it obviously works. Yeah. And who does your retouching?
I do.
Do you retouch it too? Holy shit.
Mhm. I have my really close friend who I went to undergrad with does my final color because I'm slightly red green deficient.
Yeah.
But otherwise, unless it's over my head, it's all me.
Yeah. Me too. But I don't
Yeah.
retouch nearly to the extent you do. And
Yeah. I
it's
mean, it's I've always treated retouching like the dark room, where it's like just
yeah.
like contrast and all these little bits and pieces. But slowly but surely, you're like, wait, I can do that on skin too, and I can do that on this too. And if this is the wrong person, then that's not the right frame. So
Yeah.
I've never limited myself to okay, you can't switch somebody's face like that
Right.
because if it's going to tell the story, then it's going to tell the story. I'm not going to generate AI stuff because I think that's dumb and
Yeah.
I don't need that. But
Yeah.
I'll definitely take this half from this picture and this half from this picture and make the story right.
Well, I
But
love
on set, I'm like, let's get it done in one frame as possible.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah. My
which is
father-in-law used to, when I first started, after I got married, I had a shoot down at my father-in-law. He has a 80 acre, 60, 70, 80 acre farm, whatever it is. I never know. The number keeps changing every time I hear about it. So I don't know how big it actually is.
I figured that.
But so I had a shoot just for myself, personal shoot, test shoot, whatever down there. And when I came in, he was asking my wife, he's like, why can't he just take one picture and move on? I was like, he owned a masonry company.
Yeah,
So he laid brick like his whole life, and his son took over the company. And then I had a shoot down there one day, and he happened to be home all day, and we were shooting using his garage for the studio part of it, and then using the fields and all that for all the location stuff. We basically put in a 12-hour day from the time we got there to set up, shoot whatever left home. I would go into the kitchen and tell him I'm leaving, His son walks through the door. We had been talking, and he goes, my brother-in-law's name is Todd. He's like, Todd, you wouldn't believe how hard Mark works today. Mark's working really hard. I was like, please, God, no. Do not say that. This man's been laying brick for the last 10 hours.
Seriously.
But before, I think he thought he just sat on my ass and just took a couple of pictures. He told my wife I
Yeah.
was when we go told her she told him we were getting married. He's like, "You're gonna marry an international playboy?" So I was
Yeah.
like, God.
Yeah. No, this is fucking hard work. I'm exhausted. Like, and we do like 2, 3 days of like prep. It's not like on location slash pre-lighting and figuring things out and
Yeah.
clothes and all everything is it's so much work
Oh
and
yeah.
it's so worth it.
But it looks so good.
So it's so worth it. Like it
Yeah.
really is. It's
I mean, I look at
fun.
what you shoot. So I shoot completely different than you. And I love what you do. And I wish I could shoot like that. I do not have the patience to shoot like that. But if I did, or if I had somebody who could produce it and I didn't have to produce it, I would love to shoot like that all day long.
Yeah,
But
it's like it's really gratifying. On the other, in exactly the same thing on the other side of the coin. I can't go and shoot from the hip. I can't. Like I know I can pose and frame and everything's great, but the light's not the light that I like, and
yeah,
the time of day is never the time of day that I like. And sometimes you get it, but then you have your iPhone. You're like, oh fuck, fine.
yeah,
But I've always like loved the Bresson and the Franks and stuff, but it
mhm,
was always so you have to spend so much time just waiting and waiting and waiting for the right moment. And you're
yeah.
like, no, 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 I want to make the moment, and that's it.
I
Like
hear you.
I couldn't be in a place where I'm taking the moment and waiting for something to happen in front of me. Like it drove me crazy.
Yeah,
But also that became so like not my stuff because everybody else is doing the same thing. You photograph the street, you go to this light is hitting so nicely, blah blah blah. It just never did it for me. In the same way that just people sitting in front of the camera started to not do it for me. I
yeah,
mean, I can do it, and I love interacting with people, but if they're not in motion and or doing something with purpose, it just feels like I'm waiting for them to be special,
right.
and I just want to make them special. You
But I think
know?
that's what makes you you. It makes your images as great as they are. So
Thank
I mean,
you.
it's perfect. What was your um what was your first camera?
Yeah. At 6 years old, I bought myself a Kodak 110.
At
You know, those little.
six?
Yep.
Oh yeah, those crap. Yeah, I had one of those
Yeah.
stolen off my arm one time. I was at a mall getting a drink and I had it like hanging on my
That's
arm.
fucked
I
up.
turned around, it was gone.
Mine was blue, and I loved it. And then the second that I brought the film in to get processed, my dad was like, "What the fuck, man? You want me to just like you're gonna go away, snappy, 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 and I got to pay for it?" I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the first real camera I had was an F3.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
I was 13, and I had that particular camera until it was stolen in 2012.
Oh damn.
So I went through like thick and thin, like it was I could hit nails into the wall with it. It was amazing.
Oh
It
yeah.
was amazing. And it wasn't even like at that point wasn't by any means my main camera or anything, but it was just
Right.
always there, always there.
Yeah, those are mine was a Pentax, so it wasn't, I may have it.
The K1000.
No, I don't remember. Wait, I may have it up here. It's either over there or up here.
Yeah, there it is.
Maybe it was this one. Well, I think my first one was a Pentax, but then I had this Nikon was
The
my
FM2. Yeah, yeah. They're masterpieces. The old school mechanical, they just never went wrong
yeah,
unless you got a dud, and then you just yeah.
yeah.
But I loved that camera, and it was always so reliable. And then it was like stolen out of the car, and I could never replace it because I had it for so long that
Oh yeah.
just had my hands on it and had like
Uh-huh.
my grease on it. It would just never it would never felt the same. I had one, and then I had my 4x5 from school. I had my Pentax from school. I had my F3 that I got later, and I'm like nah. So I went and I took all of those things and I got the Hasselblad just so I can have my little analog camera that's super reliable and super fun. And I literally use it like I was using the F3, like snappy, snappy
Yeah.
around my back. I run around. It's in the sand. It's in the water. It's like I don't. It's not like a gym. It's just my little, comfort blanket.
And there's nothing like the sound of that shutter going off,
Oh,
man.
oh, And people don't understand what it is anymore. Like even the old folks are like, "Is that motion? Is that video?" I'm like, "Oh, dude, really? You've been around the block for the
Yeah, like come
seeing
on.
these."
Yeah, when I was younger, my dad had that one, the one I have up here, and I have another one over there. And I remember just thinking that I wanted one, and I heard there were some on the moon that they had taken them up there, but they didn't want to bring them back. I was like, really?
Oh, really?
I heard that they
No.
flew up there and they had, had one or two, and they put them on sticks or whatever, and they took some pictures, but they didn't want to have that weight coming back, so they just left it on the moon. I don't know if
No
that's true or
way.
not, but that's what I
That would be
heard.
fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Because I've seen them. They're the yellow ones. They were
yeah,
amazing. The
and
NASA ones were yellow, and they
oh,
had the little motor drive on the bottom. And they were
yeah.
incredible looking. If they're still up there, that's they should grab them on the way
Okay,
back
like
next
so, can
time.
we do a little trip to the moon real quick?
Oh my God, that would be so cool. I wonder what would happen in those elements, if there are any elements there to be when you think about it.
Yeah, I don't know if they
Maybe it's
still
just going
be
to be the
just as
same
good.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, those machines are amazing.
yeah, they're great cameras. I
And
love
then
them.
now in the new vibe for like work, I use the H5, which is like the autofocus version, and I have a digital back on it, and
Yeah.
it still is tack sharp because the lenses are glorious and it still
Uh-huh.
does its thing, but it's very precious
Oh,
comparatively speaking. Because like if
what's the
it falls, I'm
megapixel
fucked.
count on that thing?
280.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I
Wow.
mean, like it's I used to have the phase back. It was like a P45, it was called, and that's 45 megapixels. And then it went up to like 100 megapixels as a
Uh,
standard. So I couldn't even use that. Like literally, it's paperweight.
oh,
It was a $40,000 paperweight, and
yeah.
now no, it still works, but nobody will even buy it, like for no reason.
Hmm.
So now I have the IQ 280, and it has 280 megapixels. It's
Damn.
really it's unbelievable. Like the raw files are like 200 megabytes.
Damn.
So my files end up with all the layers and all my stuff at about a gig and a half each.
Dude.
It's crazy, but that's where it is. And I
Yeah.
think that coming from 4 by 5 to digital, I was always like, it's got to step up and it's got to be something remotely close to where I'm used to.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just had to get better and better. And even that is now old. Like
Dude.
seriously,
God
it was
almighty.
like so. I remember when we were first getting the digital, and they were describing 35 millimeter equivalent in digital would
Yeah.
have been 400 megapixels.
Really?
And the only one that they had that was like that big was in the Hubble telescope.
Damn.
Like that's the megapixel of the Hubble telescope is 400 megapixels, something like that. And
Wow.
that would be the equivalent grain dot per thing as a 35 millimeter. So I was always like, oh, it's never going to be the same. But you kind of lose the vibe of like trying to match it at a certain point. And you're like, okay, I could still get exactly what I want. I went from a specific film developed and processed by a specific person in a
Mhm.
specific lab to always consistently get my specific colors. Because again, I'm a little red, green deficient, so I needed a little bit of security.
Yeah.
And it took me about 3 years to figure out how to shoot digital and still get my colors.
Oh, yeah.
But it happened, and now like I rely on a specific way of doing things, and then I had my guy who is absolutely wonderful, and he already knows exactly what moves to make in order to make it right, and it works. But the switch from to digital was painful and scary, and I was like, but at the point where it was happening, to take out the 4 by 5 was like $400.
Yeah.
Shoot film, shoot Polaroid, process, scan. It just ended up being so expensive to just pull the camera out of the case.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah, but I now I embrace and I do as best as I can to articulate what I'm thinking through digital. I don't think my work would be possible at this stage without digital. I
Yeah.
don't think.
Yeah.
You know, I know that LaChapelle and all these people did all this kind of extraordinary stuff, way before digital came in. And I was always wondering how, what, really? And I still don't know how perfect they got it. Like,
The amount of work it had to take. to do that
Unbelievable.
before digital had to have been
To
crazy.
go this crazy, yeah, I can't even imagine.
I had a agency that I did some shoots with, and we were talking. I was talking to their producer one time, and they had wanted Chappelle to shoot something for them. And so they called up, and she was just like, "Can I see David LaChapelle's book?" And they're like, "He doesn't send his book." And first of all, if you want to shoot with him, and this was like for some skylight thing or something, they wanted it to be kind of fashion looking. How you do that, I don't really know, but they wanted to. So they wanted to bring him in, and he was like, "Well, first of all, he's 80 grand an image, and
Mhm.
you're going to have to come to Hawaii unless he just really wants to go somewhere else to shoot it." And she
Exactly.
was
And
just
you're
like,
welcome.
"Yeah, yeah." She was like, "Holy shit."
I
But
mean,
I
it's
mean,
just,
if you think about it, with his film and the way he does things, I mean,
I
come
mean,
on.
it makes perfect sense, but it's 80 grand for him, not for the
Oh,
production,
just
I
for
bet.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's his rate. Yeah.
And that was
It,
15 years ago.
well, that doesn't happen anymore. I mean, like he was a pioneer in doing some crazy, crazy, crazy stuff, but it's not crazy anymore.
Yeah.
And it's much easier to do what he used to do. Now you have to do something else. And again, idea based, idea based, idea based. Like Annie Leibovitz, to do a family portrait, which is like just literally the family in front of the camera, is 250 grand.
Wow.
You're like, what do you mean?
Really?
What do you mean? So she gets up, her guys set up all the lights,
Oh, yeah.
family sits there. She comes in, she does, I would imagine, 10, 12 frames.
Uh-huh. See ya.
Thanks.
Hey, I heard a story. A friend of mine, he assisted me a few times, but we're just really good friends now. He was assisting on a shoot in New York at one of these studios. I can't remember which studio he was at, but it's one where they have multiple floors for multiple shoots. And he said he went upstairs to get some gear and saw one of his friends, and they were shooting. He said, "What are you guys shooting?" He said, "Well, Stephen Klein's here shooting for Calvin Klein today." And he's like, "Oh,
Real
cool."
studio. Yeah.
Yeah, so he left, came back the next day, go get that piece of gear again. He said he looked around the studio. He's like, "Where's Steven today?" He goes, "Oh, he's not here. We're shooting everything and sending it to him, and he's just approving it or not."
Yep.
I'm like, "Damn. Okay."
Yeah. But again, but Stephen Klein and Mizell and all these cats, like this is like there's a Bible that you have to follow in order to make the work. So all these people, granted, they're doing all the physical work, but if they weren't there for the this makeup is right, this thing is right, this
Oh
clothes
yeah.
are right, then it wouldn't be them.
No.
And the same thing with Mark Seliger. I worked for Mark Seliger for 2 summers, and it was like the most informative, most holy shit moments of my whole. It's like it was undergrad. It was 2001
Oh,
between the
nice.
summers of freshman and junior, and then it was unbelievable. And we would go and we would work our asses off, putting up all the lights, and it would be this, and we'd do a Polaroid, and we'd show him, and it would be one thing, and then he would walk around and he'd be like tweak, 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 and it would be completely different. Like
Wow.
you're like, what the fuck did he do? But it's so particular that it's like, move this a little bit, use the edge of this light, and then move this one a little. It's and it literally texturally it was different. Like you're like,
Oh, wow.
how is this possible? Yeah, but that's why they get to where they go, and I appreciate and admire, and I will always bow my head for sure, because otherwise there wouldn't be like inspiration to do the things that I wanted to do
Oh,
without these
yeah.
people. You know, it was
Wow.
yeah, the
That's cool.
experience of New York is unmatched, unbelievable.
I heard the same thing about Abaddon. I read like one of his books, and they're talking about his assistants and so
Yeah,
yeah, and all that. And it was very similar kind of stuff to what you just said.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like holy shit, it's like you can put them all everywhere, but if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, then it's not happening. You don't know what to look for. You
Oh
know.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
slowly but surely you learn what you are looking for and how to do that. And that's, my guys set up all the lights and then I come in and and
Yeah.
then it works, you know,
But
it's
that's
super fun.
good. I mean, it's good that you got guys to do it too.
Yeah, no, my team is wonderful. My team is wonderful. Like a couple of them fluctuate, but as far as like availability, but it's
Yeah.
always the same 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. And I'm just kind of coming in and go, I want a light here, put a light here and there, and then they go set it up, test it, and then we come back and tweak from there. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it. And we do it usually because it's such a big setup and we have to do like 4 or 5 images a day. And so it's like it has to be super organized. We
Yeah.
go the day before and we go backwards. So we do the last shot first and then go into the first shot. And then we set up physical lights. We get everything right. Of course, we change, contrast and density, whatever it is on the day because we have to, accommodate everybody else. But we're pretty much clear and know what's going on. So they have to bounce between. Otherwise, there's no time.
Right. Yeah.
4 full-on setups with props and like setup and like multiple lights and smoke machines and like crazy stuff. And then you have normal people doing it. So it's
Uh,
mom and dad and the kids. You have to like have that brain space to know that not to worry about anything except for the people in front of the camera.
yeah.
And that's how it works
So do you
with
tape like when
preparing.
you're moving lights, do you tape off like where
Mm-hmm.
everything is? Because we'll tape it off and then we'll write down what the lights on, what the camera
Yep.
is on the tape on the
Yep.
ground. I don't know if that's how you guys do it or if you do it a
Yeah,
different.
I mean, like, and again, those are little bits and pieces that you learn that I learned at Selligers, because we would do like 6 setups and or even two multiple locations. So everything had to be marked, including the tripod and the height and angle, and everything had to be like written down.
Yeah.
And it was the meticulous nature of it made it possible to have freedom. Like you build the set for people, you build their world, and then you let them dance in it. But unless the world is right, then the dancing is like limited and like you can't move around, you can't do the things. So
Yeah.
everything has to be right. And I love it because first of all, you're on the set and you see all the stands there, and then you don't see the stands, but you see all the little markings, and
Uh-huh.
then everybody knows where everything just needs to go. And it's yeah, I think it's like that's how my brain works, and that's how I know that we can just make the work because it's already there when I'm shooting it, you
Yeah.
know, and
Dude,
it's super fun.
I love
And
it.
again, super gratifying.
What was your first professional job? Like first one you got paid for? Do you remember?
Probably well beyond assisting. Um, I was doing I did a job for ID magazine, the InDesign one,
Yeah.
but not the fashion one. My friend was the editor there, and we like yeah we did a two different artists or architects and or creatives, and then we did like some still life. And I ended up getting the cover, and I ended up doing a whole bunch of stuff in the book, and then doing the masthead. And it was like I was in undergrad, and everybody was like, and I was like, what's going on? It was amazing. Um, I think I got paid a little bit for that. I definitely paid my assistants for it, but I was like 24 because I started school a little later because I got here a little later and all these processes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the first one that I remember actually shooting, having the assistants and getting paid was ID. It's fun. Yeah, it was also. You're like, holy shit, put
Yeah.
this on the cover.
I actually get paid for this.
Yeah.
So what was,
Otherwise, I think that most of my memories, beyond obviously having the images and knowing what's going on, is the meetings that I've had with
yeah.
photo editors or whatever. My first meeting with a photo editor was at Time Magazine at the time in 2001 or two. And at the time at school, what I was doing is I had my 4x5 with me at all time or whenever I was going to shoot. And I'd walk around with like 4 sheets of film and 2 Polaroids. That's it. And because I was like either in a place of challenging myself and or being like, if I don't get it, I'm not supposed to do it. You know what I mean? I'm not good enough, whatever the fuck it
Yeah.
is. So I challenged myself on that level. So when I went to this meeting with this Dieter or something German sounding name, I showed him the work, and he was, it was great, so to speak, for a young person making portraits. And he said, "Well, what happens if you don't have the right lights, or if it's the wrong time of day?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. Well, so how do I send you an assignment if you can't know that you're going to get the picture?" And that day, that's it. Flash, stands, everything changed. Just because I'm like, I couldn't answer the question of like, what happens if the light's not right?
Oh yeah.
I guess I got to make my own light.
Yeah, I guess.
Yep, that was it. And then like I mean like to be perfectly honest, like I've been I've been working for sure, but if I was working consistently and if I was as far as like you know, there's a lot of, photographers who spent their whole, formative years just shooting for magazines, shooting fashion, doing things for free, doing things. If I
Mm.
was doing that and getting the practice that I needed and or could have gotten, I would have been in a different place right now. But because it was always like almost like a struggle between what I wanted to shoot, what I could shoot, how much it would cost to do, it was harder for me to get work.
Yeah.
So the climb has been exhausting.
Oh, sure. Well, I know
So
actually.
yeah. So I think the fact that I can figure out a way to do private commissions and figure out a way to not rely on, agencies or anything like that is what made it possible for me to make these pictures that I've since, for the last decade have been honing and trying to figure out how to, make right.
What was what was the first job where you shot where you're like, hell yes, this is what I've been working towards?
Oh, interesting. I think it was bands. I did
Yeah.
a lot of I did a lot of work for like Sub Pop. Well, not sorry, it was Barsuk at the time, which is a Seattle based record label, and they had a bunch of really young, wonderful artists. And the first time that I shot a band called Phanogram was super fun because I had total freedom, and it was like I had the vision because I went up to Saratoga Springs and I did all the scouting that I needed to do, and I did all the stuff. So I had the ideas in there, and we did them, and it was and everybody loved it, and it was really like holy shit, it was fun. And then I ended up doing a bunch of stuff for just music stuff, all the smaller bands until much later, and it was always yeah, just do what you want.
Yeah. That's
And when I
cool.
got to it was fucking cool, so I got to like yeah, I've a few examples of shit that I was wow, did we just do that? I remember the first time I used a digital camera on set was for a band called Raw Raw Riot, and I had them all stacked on each other's shoulders in a barn, changing a light bulb.
Oh,
But but it wasn't like
wow.
so digitally. I had one stacked, and then I just kept going, and I added it in post, and I was like, oh my god, look what we did! And
Yeah.
it's the first time I ever did anything, so I didn't really think about where the legs were supposed to go or where anything, but it all like fit into place. I'm like, okay, now we can go further, and the
Yeah.
ideas can get bigger, and the ideas can get stranger. Like it was great. Like I worked with a photographer for many years, and it was always idea based, and it was always a moment of like, if it doesn't if it's not there beforehand, it's not going to come at the onset. It's not That's not how it works,
Yeah.
you know. So it was vital and fun, and yeah, the music stuff because they don't really pay you much,
Yeah.
and they expect you to do everything. You get a lot of freedom,
I
a
bet.
lot of freedom. Yeah.
Did you ever get into that whole, well, if you do it for us, you'll get exposure?
No,
That's good.
for two reasons. First of all, I already came in with that attitude,
Yeah.
as in, sure, let's do this, and it'll lead to something else. And it's at a point where I didn't need it, that was over. But uh, I don't think that anybody ever came up and said, "Oh, like you could do all of this for this much." And I'm like, "Nah, I can't.
Yeah.
Even if I don't get paid, I can't." But when it came down to like I need to do this in order to build the book, to build the vibe, to do the thing. Then yeah, all I wanted to do was shoot. And even now, if an agency calls me up and says, we have this, big deal, but we only have this much money, if it's going to be fun and worth my time as far as like me getting something out of it, including images, then let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I love making pictures. It's really fun for me. It's my little sweet quiet place within the chaos, of course. So sure,
Yeah. I get
if we
that.
all get something out of it, if it's stupid and I'm not going to enjoy it and I'm not going to get out of it, you better pay me.
Yeah. Oh,
Plain
yeah.
and simple. Yeah.
I mean, if it's somebody I know I'm going to like working with or I've worked with before and I know I like them, I'll do it for a lower rate than,
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's how Bon Jovi came along.
yeah.
It was super fun, and like somebody called and I was on the phone with him, with her. They should a three-way thing. And she goes, well, let me start off by saying you look very expensive. I'm like, don't worry, let's figure it out. Let's make pictures and we'll go from there. And that's what we did. And slowly but surely, like we all figured out how to, manage the time and the money and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
we all ended up getting something, you know.
So let me get this right. Bon Jovi calls you, and his wife says,
No,
oh, his manager.
it was his PR firm because they were representing the wine. I did the first thing I did with them was for all the rosé stuff,
Okay. All right.
and so it was all surrounded the Hampton vibe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we got on the phone right away. And the first time I was in first shoot was in New Jersey. And I went there for beforehand again, scouting, figuring things out. And it was always going to be like pictures of him and his son in different scenarios, but we weren't telling any stories at that point. We were just giving the vibe. And then the next shoot was in the Hamptons, and we were telling stories.
Oh, yeah.
But that was already at the point where like, oh, sure, let's do this. That's a great idea. The freedom comes in, and then you're paid, but you're also getting to make your own photographs, and then
Yeah.
so on and so forth. And we just kept making pictures until we did the family stuff, which was
Was there a
always
rate change between the first shoot and the second shoot?
slight,
Yeah.
slight. I was still getting Bon Jovi, and we were becoming friends, and it wasn't like it wasn't that anymore. At the
Yeah.
time, there was a point where they called and asked for another shoot for the wine, and they wanted a whole bunch of pictures that they could then sell with the company if they wanted to sell the company. So they wanted full on rights to it
Yeah.
forever, forever.
Yeah.
And we gave my agent at the time gave him the price, and they said no. But it all comes down to like, yeah, I know you need something, I need something at this stage. I don't need that thing anymore, and you're asking for a whole lot.
Uh-huh.
Like if somebody was going to come and say, "Here, let me get your song, but I won't pay you," you wouldn't do it.
Right. Yeah.
Like, let's be realistic about where we're standing. So there was no bad feelings. I could still text him, and chit chat or whatever the fuck it is. But the work thing was like, okay, we all need different things at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I did his headshots and I did his like holiday cards and his family stuff. Like we were working together for like 5 years solid of like, let's call Doron. And it was great. You know?
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. And he's such a sweetheart. Oh my God. The whole family is so nice and so sweet and so down to earth. When you fucking Bon Jovi, you're like standing there, just he's the one cleaning the stairs when we're about to make a picture.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's cool.
like I have nothing but wonderful things to say about him for sure. Even
That's
though
always my
it ended
favorite
up
thing is when somebody has worked with a celebrity like that at that level, and then they're just so nice. And
yeah,
I've come to believe that not all, but most of the celebrities at that level are pretty decent people, and they seem to be nice. But then you have a few that are divas, obviously, and then you
yeah.
have the ones that are just below that level that seem to be more the pain in the ass.
Yeah, I think it's their security or insecurity, and I think it comes down to how you respond to their security or insecurity. So
Yeah,
if you're like all like eager and crazy about things, then they're like, what is he? What's happening?
yeah,
But if it comes down to like, let's just make work, and or you know, you just look cool and let's do this,
yeah.
it's a whole different thing. Especially if it's not for like some promotional thing for a movie or whatever it is. When it's personal, it just changes everything
Yeah, yeah, I'm
because
sure.
they called you. So it was like, yay, let's just do this.
So
But
you guys
yeah,
just got along pretty well after the first shoot, and then eventually it's
instantly.
left him going, "Hey, come shoot my family."
No, because it was like we did 3 shoots at that point for the booze, and we did headshots and all this stuff. And then I told him, look, I'm working on this family thing. He's like, okay, because they have, I don't know if this is like common knowledge, but they are out there or not. But they have a hallway in the New Jersey house, and there's I would say 30 or 40 black and white 8x10s along the wall. And they're all, what's his name? Shit, it'll come to me. They're all like a version of, oh my God, an old school photographer, wonderful black and
Herberts.
white. Herberts. They're all Herberts vibe because Herberts is the first person to photograph Dorothea with the babies
Oh, really? Holy shit.
originally because she was a model and he was, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so they A, love Herberts, and B, every photographer that they like that has photographed John, they've invited to come and photograph a Herberts shot. So I came back and I'm like, okay, cool, we're doing this, so let's go full fam.
Yeah.
So we did the Herbert shot, and I did in the pool with the four kids, and it was very very Herbert. It was
Yeah.
it was great, and it's up on their wall and the thing. And then we did three more of the family because that's where I was like, oh, we're here, well, let's do the four that I want, and we'll get it. And yeah, and then he paid me for it, which was like awesome. I'm like,
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, this
That's
is what it
very
cost.
cool.
Yeah. It was nice again, and that was the most fun I've had with them because it was just for us. It wasn't for any promotional thing. It was just for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it worked. I think it worked fantastic.
Yeah. From what I saw on your website, it looked like it worked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fun. And now all I want to do is make a living and make pictures that I want. And it's this stage of like there's no like gray area about what I'm capable of or what it is they're going to get from me when they call. They're not going to call me for any random thing. They're going to say, "Ooh, that's the vibe we want. This is what we were thinking about in the first place." And or, "Oh, look at the work and let's think of a campaign that would work for this." That would be the ideal scenario. And
Yeah.
hopefully that's what's brewing, so to speak.
Do
You
you
know,
do much agency work?
as far as
I just,
advertising stuff,
yeah, like through
I'm
BBDO
trying.
or that
I'm
kind of shit.
trying. That thing that disappeared for a long time for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like with Maria, this is the mission. The mission is like the pharma stuff and all the like, let's go get it.
Yeah.
Because we need like 4 or 5 jobs a year together and we don't have to stress and I can still make more work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's definitely the goal at this stage is to be back in the advertising world and do whatever we can to like make the big pictures for the big companies for the big money or whatever money is there. I have no idea what's going on, but
Yeah, dude.
not in like, that's all I want for it. But I still want to make my work. And as far as like my art is concerned, it's always been based on what if I can actually go and shoot.
Yeah.
So if I can go and shoot, no matter what I'm shooting, it's my work.
Oh,
Even if it's
yeah.
a pharma ad, I don't care. Like it's still like how I want to see it and how I want to do it. And yes, let's all go. And now I have more money to make it. So yeah,
Right.
yay. Can you imagine like my work with the $500,000 behind it? It would be super fun.
Oh, yeah.
My God, we'd be like burning buildings and shit. It'd be insane. It'd be insane. So yeah, yeah, I'm all for big agencies at this stage. And I'm like, yeah, we're on certainly on a mission of like, let's go do it with that for
Yeah.
now. Let's hope that it keeps going. Hopefully, like this whole global turmoil will slow down a bit and we'll be able to
Yeah. Let's,
not be terrified of spending money at this stage
yeah.
because that's what's happening. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then every agency's getting bought up by some conglomerate and people are getting let go. And
Yeah.
it's a totally different world right now, it seems like.
And all of us are clamoring for the pharma stuff, which is the
Oh, yeah.
worst fuckers ever. Like, but still, they're the ones who still have the money, and they're the ones who still have the people who are smart and cool and want to make some great work. They still work for
How
us.
was, I saw you shot John Lithgow. How was that?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I think I had like 4 days before they called me because they're a guy, somebody who they chose either couldn't do it or they couldn't do it the way they wanted it to happen. And they called me up and yeah, obviously I over prepare and I got there at like 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm like trying to figure out everything. And they were going to have me piggyback on the video light. And I'm like, can't do that because
Yeah.
it's very particular and you're asking for exactly what for something very specific
Yeah.
and this is how I do things and so we ended up doing everything my way and it was fun and he was such a sweetheart like he came in on the no I'm not going to do that I'm not going to do that and by the time he sat in front of the camera it was whatever
Yeah.
like yes sure and then he took a picture of me which was funny
Oh, that's cool.
He's like, well, now it's my turn. And he came in and he met me, he made me sit down. And he was, I mean, like I've grown up looking and seeing his movies and doing all this stuff. So it was like, it wasn't a starstruck moment by any means, but it was definitely like, that's John Lithgow.
Yeah.
You know, I'll do that shit again a million times, please. It's
Yeah.
great.
I
And the
bet.
play that he's in is incredible. So yeah, makes
Yeah, I
sense.
like him. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never met
He did
him.
it.
Yeah, but do you find that most of the time the teams around these people are just the pain in the ass and the person themselves is way more laid back?
I could say, I mean, that's an experience that I haven't had, but I've heard so many times because it's like I'm not like specifically a celebrity photographer. What I like, I treat all the people that I photograph in the same way, whether it's a celebrity or a normal person.
Yeah.
So like the people who handle these people are, we're all like, let's figure this out and have a good time doing it. When it comes down to like something a little bit bigger and a little bit more, yeah, I think that the handlers are the ones that are making me not be the one shooting it.
Yeah.
Like way before I even get into the picture, like the back end of things already. Like, oh no, it's like he's doing these weird things, blah blah blah, or it's too masculine, or it's too this, or whatever it is. So I'm sure the handlers are like they handle things way before I even get involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know.
I've had a
Hopefully
few
they'll.
just up front. They tell you things, up front. Like, and I mean, I'm not even shooting like celebrities. These are just like VPs or presidents of some fucking company or whatever. And they'll tell you, oh, he can't do this or he won't do this. And then he gets there and goes, yeah, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's a whole myth of Stephen Meisel not wanting anybody to look at him.
Oh yeah. I heard he shoots, somebody told me he shoots under like a canopy thing. Like he puts a sheet over top of him and shoots through a hole.
Bullshit. It's all bullshit. I remember I have a person who was his producer that I've known for many years. Just like, what the fuck are they talking about? Yes, on set there are tunnels in order to get to the set, so nobody can see what's going on. But that's like an NDA thing for the
Right.
magazine or for the thing. It's not him. And he used to walk into set and assistants weren't looking at him. He's like, why is everybody being so fucking weird? Because everybody's building this hype around him, and he's like, well, we know Annie's a different situation, but we're not going to talk about that. She's known for it, and I don't think she's
Everybody
got a
I
problem
know
with
who's
it.
worked with her or knows her, I've only had one person ever tell me that they had a good experience, and he was an art director, and even he was just like, she's a genius, and all geniuses are a little quirky and weird, and that was the way he interpreted
Yeah,
it. So in his head, I guess it was a different thing, but everybody I know, anybody else I've talked to has actually been with her. Yeah, yeah, but.
yeah, yeah.
She comes from a different time and she got her
I mean,
fame.
she's the one who made it possible for all of us to do all of this shit. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, and
No, I agree.
however, whatever. Like seriously, like she started it all
Yeah.
on the level of what we're doing nowadays, and how far we could take things, and the ambition of like what we're capable of doing with anybody. Like yeah, Abaddon did the wonderful stuff, but she brought it into like everywhere,
Yeah.
and it's incredible. Like yeah, so no matter how whatever people say about her, I'm okay, and I get it, and yeah, you're right, but I still she changed my life.
But you get the quality, you get the images that she got out of it too.
Yeah,
Without that attitude, without
still does.
that personality,
Yeah,
you wouldn't have the images that she creates.
credit where credit's due, all things considered.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
get that.
but I'm not an asshole on set. I like my people.
Well, I don't think you can be anymore. I don't think you can be that asshole that you used to be like when it used to
Yeah,
be like that. Don't look at them, don't speak to them.
yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree
Yeah.
with you. I think that there's too many other ones that it could be like, he's not the ass. Let's use
Yeah.
him.
Every
Yeah,
art director, creative director I know is like, I want to work with somebody I like and I get along with because it'll be either a long day or it's going to be multiple days. And why do I want to work with an asshole? I don't.
plain and simple. Why have bad vibes on set when you don't need to?
Yeah.
Which I like and I agree with
Oh, I do too.
personally. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, that's why, like, every time I send an email, I'm so fucking nervous about sounding a certain way or not sounding a certain way. I hope they like my vibe. I hope they like
Uh-huh.
it's like because of that, because I just, I know that once they meet me, it'll be fine. But before that. It's like the right words, the right
Oh
thing, the
yeah.
right tone. Don't be too sing. Don't be too this. And Maria was like, "Why are you so worried when you sound worried when I read your emails?" I'm like, "Because I don't want to say anything stupid. I don't want to say anything that's not gonna that you know." She changes shit around and it becomes more. That's what she. Yeah, she's helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's doing
Yes,
great.
yes.
She's doing
Yeah. What would you say? So to this point in your career, what's been your favorite shoot? If you had to pick one, what would be your favorite shoot?
everyone.
Everyone. You can't
I
say
swear to
everyone.
God, well, because of the way I work and because of how I do things and because of the people who are now more and more trusting me more and more and they're hiring me to do specific things, it becomes more and more fun to make the work because nobody's putting any stops or limits.
Yeah.
So if whether or not it's difficult to get to the point and or like it takes time for every schedules to work out, like they like my brain, so they let me do what my brain wants,
Yeah.
and that means that I get to make my own work. So the last summer, almost a year ago, um, I spent the summer shooting. We made, I don't know, 25 pictures, and every shoot was more fun than the last one. Every shoot was my best shoot, and every shot was my best photograph ever.
That's
And
great.
I think they'll keep going, and all I got to do is just make pictures and just like, yeah, it's right now, it's all of them. And I can think back on, there's lots of fun stuff, and there was lots of fun like little moments, but when it's all said and done and like how I feel when I'm looking at the work now, it's definitely a recent thing where I just get to do my thing,
Yeah.
which is,
Nice.
I hope I keep getting to do my thing. Don't misunderstand. It's not like ooh, tomorrow I'm
Oh,
going to go shoot more shit. No,
right.
it's still a challenge to find the work. It's still a challenge to do the thing. But when it's there and we're all on the same page and that I just get to do the thing, it's so much fun. Yeah. So it's now. It's yesterday. It's hopefully tomorrow. It's forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Okay.
favorite.
Last question, because we're getting about up on an hour.
Oh, nice.
But last question. What's the strangest or coolest thing that's happened to you since you've been in this business?
Strangest or coolest thing.
Something where you're just like, holy shit, that was great, or that could have been a disaster, or, one of the two, something like that.
I think like the craziest vibe that I've had is for the first farmer job and like making so much money and just doing the thing
Yeah.
was like a little mind-boggling. And like all of a sudden you go up and you have a massage and you come back down and it's like this whole different kind of world of like this is not a normal like this wasn't normal for me. So it was a big deal. And beyond that, I think that like every time, well, I don't think I've had moments that I've been like, "What just happened?" Because it's always like I've always got things under control, kind of thing. So I
Yeah.
always kind of know what to expect and where to go.
So you never had something just pop up while you're in the middle of shooting, or like, because I think back to where I was talking to somebody and they said they were on a shoot in South America someplace, and they had to go out in the middle of nowhere like the next day, and they had to take these four runners or whatever, 4x4s, and they had the gas cans on the side. And overnight, somebody had drained all the gas cans of all the gas that was in them, and they didn't know it.
Oh,
Yeah, so they go where they got to go. They think they got gas, and they end up having no gas.
Jesus Christ.
Something like that. So I didn't know if you
Yeah.
had any kind of, or I had a producer. She had to take a whole rack of clothes that were trying to get through customs, and somehow she got them out without having to. They were going to get stuck in customs, and she had to have them, and somehow she just grabbed them and took them and
Oh,
got them
Jesus.
out.
Yeah, I don't have those little stories. All those little stories are within like the my personal life, but not within the work life. Like I've had
Yeah,
some weird shit happen in the general sense, but as far as photos are concerned, yeah, it's all pretty fucking organized. I remember one job that I did. I was hired the day of of the shoot. I was hired to go and photograph Restoration Hardware's new spot in the city. And I was like, okay, let's go do that. And I was supposed to photograph the main guy, and all day we're figuring out where to photograph him. And they send up little things up to the top floor to ask if that's okay. And she's like, no, it's not okay. So we're shifting and moving and moving. By the time we're about to shoot and he agrees on everything, um, he's like, I don't have time. Let's figure this out. I'm like, okay. So the next day we get a call and we're all going to Napa to shoot in their main headquarters and stuff. So like it's little moments that you're like, okay, so now I have to get a crew, I have to get gear over there. Everything has to happen together. They have to deliver the gear from LA to Napa, which is a 5 hour drive. So everything,
Yeah.
like, yeah, you have to do everything. And within 3 days we were all there and we were shooting at the thing, and it worked out great. But yeah, I don't remember any other moment that it was like snowballed into a different situation like that.
Well, that's good.
Man.
I mean, that's the plus of planning out
Yeah, or at least
everything.
knowing how to pivot and knowing like how to handle the situation,
Oh
which
yeah.
is something that you learn throughout the years. It's like
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
The amount of times I've had to pivot would, yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it's crazy. But on that level, in the same way, it's the only pivots that I've had late, like in the this type of work that I make, is having to deal with people that are not either cooperative or don't understand how I function, or like are doing something that I can't really articulate to them how I want them to be. So
Yeah.
I would get frustrated, but it quickly just goes away after I figure out how to speak to the people. But that's definitely the moments that I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
but you figure it out
Oh,
and
absolutely.
you hope it works, especially when it's pharma.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Doron, thank you, man. This has
Oh my
been,
God, this was so pleasure. I hope you got stuff. I mean, we were just rambling. Like, I hope it works.
I mean, that's the whole thing.